Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of JP's Nitro Garage. Today what we are going to be working on is how to repair a pull start. Or at least how I'm going to repair mine. The rope broke on it, which is common. You know, you use them for a while. You're always pulling on these motors, trying to start them, tune them. The weather changes at night, you're going to pull on it even more until you get the motor tuned. And the rope's going to break, or you're going to break the spring inside the recoil here. So today I'm going to show you how I fix mine. The rope is broke on it. Here's the old rope. It broke on it. And so I got it disassembled already. Here's the cover, the inside, here's your handle. But what I'm going to use to replace my rope is a 100-pound fishing line, which is braided fishing line. I'm a cat fisherman, so I keep this on hand. It's strong, it will not break, not very easily. So I'm going to use that. It may be a temporary fix, but it is going to get me to where I can run my car. I'll be able to start it with the pull start. I don't have to wait on parts or a new string or buy a new recoil. It's a good way to save some money if you already have something like this on hand. But okay, first off, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to get me enough of this string. Let me get pulled out here. And I'm actually going to double it to make it even stronger. Here you're probably thinking, why double it? Why double it? Well, makes the cord a little thicker. It is easier to pull. This stuff won't break. Not even if I left it by itself, it won't break. But being a thinner, I may cut into the plastic or into the recoil because it'll work like a saw from starting it. So I'm going to make it a little thicker so that don't happen. Okay, I got my length there. Go ahead and cut off some. Alright, this is what I'll use for my new pull start rope. Alright, now I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I have the spring already wound up and back in here. This thing can go pa-ting, and people think it's just a mess to mess with. Well, it is, that's true. But once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. And I'll show you. I'll go ahead and let me get my screwdriver here. You're probably wondering why I'm going to do this, but I'm going to show you. Bing. That's what I mean. See, they just go bing. They go everywhere. Pick up my parts here. It throws, I mean, it just goes wild. Let's go ahead and take it all the way out of the cover here. And what I do, let's get it straightened out here because it'll tangle up. It turns into what looks like a mess. Don't let that scare you though. Okay, let's get it to this point. You see how it is? It's loosely unwrapped there, but it's straight. And I'm gonna start just by simply pulling it. Now I got me a circle there. I'm gonna pull it tighter and just wrap it back up. Keep it tight. If it looks like it's gonna be too big to fit back in the case here, just simply give it a little pull and it'll pull tighter. Now be careful because this is sharp. It is a stainless steel spring. It can cut your fingers. So be careful with it, but just slowly wrap it back up. As you can see, it don't take too long. I'm almost there already. Looks a little big. I'll give it a tug, make that a little bit smaller. And I believe that's going to be all right there. Alright, now that I'm getting down to the end, I'm going to hold on to it. This is where I'm going to use my needle nose. I'm just going to grab a hold of it there. Now as you see, I got it wrapped up and I got the little end there that will actually clip into the inside of my case here. And what I'm going to do is while I got that wrapped, just slide it down in there. And I use my tuning screwdriver. And I'll line that spring up to where it slides into the case here before I let go of the needle nose and let the tension off that spring. Pop it down into that slot. Use your finger to hold it down flat and just slowly let it loosen back up. And you'll have what looks like that right there. The spring's back in, it's wound up. Well, it's not wound tight, but it's back in the case the way it should be. You got your centerpiece there. So that part's done. We can set that aside for now. Now this is what your rope wraps on and actually spins inside the case here with the spring connected to it. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go to my homemade rope now from the braided fishing line. Now this is a 100-pound fishing line that I have. Braided fishing line. And we'll get those ends to where. And we're going to slide it. May have to twist it just a little bit. Slide it through the hole here. It's a little hard wearing the gloves. I got the gloves on so I can touch my camera here and not get my camera all dirty. Okay, looks like one piece at a time is going to go through. There we go. And if it don't want to go through together and you can't get them through, maybe just take a little pinch of super glue, touch the end, and it'll stick them together, but we don't need to do that right now. Okay. Pull it through a little bit to the back side here of the spool. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in this piece. Now you want to tie your knot big enough that it will not pull back through the hole, of course. So what I do is just a double clinch knot. And this is harder than it looks with gloves on, trust me. But okay, we got it there. So let's pull a double clinch knot. We're going to pull it tight. You see the knot there? Go ahead and trim off the excess here on the ends, your tag ends. As you see, this is a pretty tough line here. Scissors don't even want to cut it. But, oh. Got one, but not the other. Tangled up. Okay, the tag ends off. Now there's a little spot here that the knot goes back behind. You'll push it and kind of tuck it in. Just use your finger to hold it and pull it down in there, and it'll get snug into a little hole there. Then we'll pull it back up through on this end. Now you got a loop at this end, so you don't have to tie it, just leave it the way it is. But we'll pull it up through that gap so it's ready to actually be wound onto the spool here. But don't do that yet. Now, this could be the tricky part. You see your spring, the center spring there? There's a little notch and a hole here in the center of the spool. We got to get that in the center so it'll hold that spring. Now this is where I use my Phillips tuning screwdriver, and I'll just slide it right through that hole there, as you can see, and I'll grab that spring and I'll pull it to the center. Now where your line goes in, that's going to be where the little gap normally is for the spring to slide into, and I can see the springs here to my right, so I'm going to turn it so it lines up and just push it down in there. You may have to turn it a little bit, and you can see through the hole there a little bit, not much, but you can see. And this, like I said, can be a little tricky, especially first couple times doing it. Let's pop it out, see where the spring is. Okay. Right there. So, going to there we go. Pops down into place. It'll go down flush. Now as you see, I got my rope hanging out here. It's not wrapped around the spool, but it's hanging out. Now what I do is pretty simple. I just take and I look at the direction that my rope needs to go back in and just start twisting. Move the rope with it so it don't tangle up, but just simply tighten up that spool this is twisting the spring now, so you'll have to hold it kind of tight so it don't pop out and go flying on you. But just twist this up pretty good, and you'll feel it get tighter as you go as well. Keep my rope straight. But you don't want that rope to wrap around the spool yet, not till you actually let go, and then it'll feed the rope back the way it's supposed to go. And it takes it go around a few times to get enough tension on it. Let's go one more. Okay. Now you gotta hold this all pretty tight, or that'll just unspool on you. It'll go flying. But let's take the end of my rope with the loop, and we'll get it a little wet there so it's easier to work with. And push it up through the hole here where the rope is supposed to come out, and you can see now it'll pull the rope back in. It'll recoil like it's supposed to, but I don't want it to do all that just yet. Now this is where it can get a little tricky. I'm going to use my hand there to hold that down so it don't spin and pull this rope all the way in while I finish up the rest of this. I got the sleeve here before the handle. You'll push the rope up through it, pop it out the other end, make sure you got it pulled where the rope's even. Now we got the actual handle here. All we got to do is feed it through it. And again, if the loop don't want to go through the holes just well, very easy. Take a little bit of super glue on your fingers and just kind of pinch them together. Wait a second, and that'll hold that to piece like one piece of line instead of two, and it'll slide right through. But it'll come out the top. And what I do is I go ahead and I pull it straight, make sure the loop's where it's supposed to be. I don't have one side longer than the other on the two lines. And again, we're just gonna make a overhand knot or clench knot. Just right here at the end of the rope. And now I ain't gonna worry about the tag in on that one. Now here on the T-handle, it's got where you can pull it down and tuck it under. So we'll pull it to the end. Put it through that little gap there. Tuck it up. There's a hole here on the bottom side. You'll just push the knot up into it. Let's pull that rope tight. Now you got it connected all the way. Just ease pressure up on your hand here that's holding the recoil, and it'll draw that string right in. Spools it up on that spool, and as you can see, there you go. The pull starter's fixed. You can put the spring back. There's a little spring here that goes in the center on this style. You'll put it in the center, then it goes in on the motor as so, and of course put your screws back in. See, I got that turned. There we go. Goes on the motor as so. You'll see the way the back plate matches your cover of your recoil, and there you go. You can see it works. Put your 4 screws back in and you're completed. And that is a quick and easy way to fix the pull start without having to replace parts. If you have some braided line or maybe a thick piece of rope, something as you can use as an alternative, it is a temporary fix. I keep this around the house because I am a cat fisherman, so I always got a braided fishing line, and I run a heavy test for leaders on that, which is something different. But this is a 100-pound Brave Fisherman super line, and that's what I use to fix the recoil on my SH28 motor. There you go, folks. I hope that helped out if you have problems with your recoil or breaking it, or if you just need to see how to put them back together if that spring pops out. It's that simple. It can be done in 5 minutes. And that's it. I hope I helped somebody out there. Please hit that subscribe button, like and share my videos. Until next time, keep RCing, and you'll see me doing more repairs on mine. Thank y'all for watching.